more tokens of irreversibility. Furthermore, an irreversible bodhisattva is one who has turned away from the level of disciples and pratyeka Buddhas, and who has proceeded in the direction of all knowledge. According to plan, he enters into the first, second, third, and fourth trance, and he dwells in those 4 trances. He becomes a complete master over the trances. That is, he enters into the trances, but his future rebirth is not determined by their influence. It is on the dharmas of the sphere of sense desire that he bases his rebirth. This also should be known as a mark of irreversibility in an irreversible bodhisattva. Furthermore, an irreversible bodhisattva does not attach weight to a name, nor to renown, title, or fame. He does not get attached to a particular name, which in any case is absent in emptiness. His mind remains undismayed, and interested only in the welfare of all beings. Whether he goes out or comes back, his mind does not wander, and he remains ever mindful. When he lives the life of a householder, he has no great love for pleasant things, and he does not want them too much. With fear and disgust, he possesses all pleasant things. Situated in a wilderness infested with robbers, one would eat one's meals in fear, and with the constant thought of getting away, of getting out of this wilderness, and not with repose. Just so, an irreversible bodhisattva who lives the life of a householder possesses any pleasant things he may have simply without caring for them, without eagerness, without attachment. He is not one of those people who care for dear and pleasant forms. Those who live the lives of householders and who are involved in the 5 kinds of sensuous pleasures do not earn their living in an irregular way, but in the right way. Neither do they incur death in a state of sin, nor do they inflict injuries on others, for they have incited all beings to win the supreme happiness. Those worthy men and women, those great men and women, supermen and women, excellent men and women, splendid men and women, sublime men and women, valiant men and women, heroes of men and women, leaders of men and women, water lilies of men and women, lotuses of men and women, thoroughbred men and women, nagas of men and women, lions of men and women, trainers of men and women. It is in this spirit that bodhisattvas live the life of householders, inasmuch as they have been impregnated with the power of the perfection of wisdom, and that is another token of their irreversibility. Furthermore, Vajrapani, the great Yaksha, constantly follows behind the irreversible bodhisattva. Unassailable, the bodhisattva cannot be defeated by either men or ghosts. All beings find it hard to conquer him, and his mind is not disturbed by their attacks. His faculties are all complete, and he is not deficient in any. He does not in any way embark on those spells, mutterings, herbs, magic formulae, medical incantations, etc. He earns his livelihood in a clean way, not in a wrong way. His character is neither quarrelsome nor disputatious. He does not exalt himself or deprecate others. With these and other similar qualities he is endowed. He does not predict to women or men that they will have a son or a daughter. Such faulty ways of making himself acceptable will not be his. All this is another token of irreversibility. Furthermore, Subhuti, I will demonstrate the attributes, tokens, and signs of an irreversible bodhisattva. Endowed with them, he would be known as irreversible from full enlightenment. Again, which are they? The following. He or she does not give himself or herself over to occupation and preoccupation with the skandhas, the sense fields, the elements, and with conditioned co-production. He or she is not preoccupied with the kind of talk one is fond of in society, with talk about kings and robbers, about armies and battles, about villages, cities, market towns, countries, kingdoms, and capitals, about himself or herself, about ministers and prime ministers, about women and men, about journeys, parks, monasteries, palaces, pools, lakes, ponds, lotus ponds, woods, gardens, and mountains, about yakshas, rakshasas, pretas, pishachas, kataputana demons, and kumbanda demons, about food, drink, dresses, ornaments, perfumes, garlands, and ointments, about roads, crossroads, streets, markets, palanquins, and people, about songs, dances, tales, actors, dancers, and wandering singers, about the ocean, about rivers, about islands. They do not devote themselves to talk which obstructs Dharma, to the kind of talk which delights the common people, but to talk on the perfection of wisdom, and they become people who do not lack in the mental activities which are associated with all knowledge. But talk about fightings and strife, about quarrels and disputes, they avoid. They are willing for what is right, and not willing for what is wrong. They praise without causing dissension, and not in order to cause dissension. They want friendship, and not its opposite. They preach Dharma, and not its opposite. They plan to gain a vision of those Tathagatas who dwell in other world systems, and thus they produce a thought which leads them to rebirth in their presence. According to plan, they are reborn near them, and so they do not lack in the vision of the Tathagatas, nor in opportunities for honoring and serving them. Furthermore, when an irreversible bodhisattva has definitely terminated his existence among the gods, whether they belong to the sphere of sense desire or the sphere of form or the formless sphere, he is reborn in just this middle region, in Jambudvipa. For in the border countries there are only a few beings with a good knowledge of the arts, of poetry, of mantras, of secret lore, of the standard treatises, of portents, and of the meaning of religion. But in the middle region they are reborn in abundance. But those who are reborn in the border regions are at least reborn in the big towns. This is another mark of irreversibility. Furthermore, to an irreversible bodhisattva, it does not occur to ask himself whether he is irreversible or not. No doubt about it, it arises in him. He has no uncertainty about the stage he has made his own, and he does not sink down below it. Just as a stream winner has no hesitations or doubts about the fruit of a stream winner, if that is the stage which is his by right, just so an irreversible bodhisattva has no hesitations or doubts about being on the stage of a bodhisattva, when that stage is his by right. He has no uncertainties about the stage which is his by right, nor does he sink below it. And he quickly sees through any deed of Mara that may have arisen, and does not come under his sway. A man who has committed one of the deadly sins will never again, until his death, lose the sight of that action. He cannot get rid of it or remove it, but it follows after him until the time of his death. Just so, the irreversible mind of an irreversible bodhisattva has learned to stand firm on the irreversible stage which is his by right, and even the whole world, with its gods, men, and asuras, cannot deflect, divert, or diverge him from it. He recognizes any deeds of Mara that have arisen for what they are, and does not come under their sway. He is free from hesitations and doubts about the stage which is his by right, and even after he has passed through this present life, the thoughts which are characteristic of disciples and Pratyeka Buddhas will not arise in him. But when he has passed through this present life, he will think, "It is not the case that I shall not win full enlightenment. I am sure to win full enlightenment. I who have stood firm on the stage which is mine by right." he can no longer be led astray by others, and on the stage which is his by right he cannot be crushed. For as he has stood firm on it, his mind becomes insuperable. His cognition becomes insuperable. Suppose that Mara, the evil one, in the guise of the Buddha himself, were to come to him and say, "Realize our hardship in this very life. You are not predestined to full enlightenment. You have not the attributes, tokens, and signs with which a bodhisattva must be endowed in order to win full enlightenment. Why should you then course in this?" If the bodhisattva then experiences a change of heart, one should know that he has not been predicted to full enlightenment by the Tathagatas in the past. If, on the other hand, he considers that this surely is Mara, the evil one, who has come along after he has, by magical means, adopted the disguise of the Buddha. I am beset by Mara. This is one of Mara's magical creations, but not the Tathagata. The Tathagata has spoken to the effect that one should not realize our hardship, and not otherwise. If he sees and understands that this surely is Mara, the evil one, who has manufactured a magical double of the appearance of the Buddha, and who wants to estrange me from supreme enlightenment. And if Mara, after that, turns back, then this bodhisattva has certainly in the past been predicted to full enlightenment by the Tathagatas, and he has stood firmly on the irreversible bodhisattva stage. Where these attributes, tokens, and signs are found in a bodhisattva, there one can be certain, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that as he has those qualities, he has been predicted by the Tathagatas in the past, and has stood firm on the irreversible bodhisattva stage. For he has the attributes, tokens, and signs of an irreversible bodhisattva. This is another token of irreversibility. Furthermore, an irreversible bodhisattva tries to gain the good Dharma even if it costs him his life and all his belongings. Therefore, he makes a supreme effort to gain the good Dharma through his affection and respect for the Buddhas and Lords, past, present, and future, in the conviction that the Dharma bodies are the Buddhas, the Lords. He wins the good Dharma through his affection and respect for the Dharma. He gains the good Dharma not only of the past Buddhas and Lords, but also of the present and future Buddhas and Lords. He becomes convinced that he also has joined the ranks of those who are reckoned as future Buddhas and Lords, that he also has been predicted to that supreme enlightenment, that he also will gain just this good Dharma. Also, these considerations he bears in mind when, in his efforts to gain the good Dharma, he renounces even his life and all his belongings, when he does not lose heart or becomes indolent. This is another token of irreversibility. Moreover, when the Tathagata demonstrates Dharma, an irreversible bodhisattva does not hesitate or doubt. Subhuti asked, "Does he also not hesitate or doubt when a disciple demonstrates Dharma?" The Lord said, "No, he does not. For a bodhisattva who has acquired the patient acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced does not hesitate or doubt when he hears about the unobstructed true nature of all dharmas. Endowed with these virtues, a bodhisattva becomes irreversible. These also should be known as the attributes, tokens, and signs of a bodhisattva who is irreversible from full enlightenment.